Welcome back to the YouTube, guys. Today we are down at the unit. I'm with one of the best coaches in the UK, Tim Stewart himself. We're going to be training a bit of upper body today, running through some coaching bits, some client bits, and also just having a bit of catch up as well. I think we only briefly talk at shows here and there and we speak, so it's going to be good to get in a session, run through some questions, and hopefully give you guys a bit of an insight to some of the behind the scenes stuff.
Yeah, it's absolutely fantastic to have Cal up because, as he said, like, we're obviously so busy always and we only catch a show, so it's nice to have him up local in the area with PCA Yorkshire tomorrow. Have a good session and then offer some insight behind coaching, managing athletes and whatnot. But yeah, pleasure to have you up, bro.
And I think as well, like, the insight coming from some younger coaches, I think a lot of us, like, we look up to coaches which are already established, they've already got kind of everything in place, whereas yourself and me are just on our way up, working towards the top, and it's going to be good to give a little bit of an insight and also show you a bit of our progression as we work our way up. Let's go. You know, I was even going to post it actually. You know how some people say like peaking's easy? Yeah. And they're like, oh, you just need to keep things the same. Like, the 2 or 3 people I've been able to do that, the rest is all had to change. Not by a lot, but like, it's not just been a case of breezing in as normal. I don't know how you found it, what your experience has been.
My experience is, if you want to bring a package that's different to just post-workout, an actual peak,
Yeah.
you do have to modulate and change things. If you just want to linear load and bring someone in easy, they're not going to go win the cup.
Yeah, I mean, it's a safer option, for sure.
It's safer, yeah, but I mean, I do shoot for the 5% at the top most of the time.
100%.
If the athlete's like capable of doing it from a physique perspective. You think you'll go with that?
Yeah, for sure. I want to do one more. I'll see. I'm not too sure, yeah. I know after this show now, I can just lock in time frame wise. So I haven't got to worry about too much about trial. Like France is okay, I can manage France. But it's just like ones like last weekend are just shit to manage.
It's picking the time of year for us to go.
For sure. How about you?
Well, yeah, I mean, I want to go like middle next year. But then I'm like, I need to improve now, but that's then when I'm busy.
Yeah. You're the classic now, right?
Yeah. Or like novice. I can do PCA for novice. Like, I was going to go at the end of this year, but I didn't want to do physique.
Mid push, towards the end of the push.
Yeah, I'm mid push.
Yeah.
I've been pushing up for about 7 weeks. Go for another 7, I'll then tidy up and then go again.
Nice.
I do find with me, if I push for too long, I just run into issues straight away. I do for a little tidy up in between.
Yeah, so what, like 14 weeks is a sweet spot for you?
Yeah, 12, 14 weeks and then pull back. I've got a physique that, like, the majority of it is like fluid in the off season. It holds so much fluid. So I noticed after like 2 weeks of dieting, I'm actually very fucking lean. At the same body weight where I wasn't like 2 weeks prior.
It's interesting, I find especially that, it kind of like masks your perception of how much you gain. That's why I don't like things like insulin too much, like, because it just gives you fake identity of muscle. Yeah, exact reason.
And I'm hairy as fuck, bro, and that doesn't help from a setting composition.
Finish.
That's you, good. Play what you can. There we go.
Let's go.
Nice. Sound.
Let's go, bro. Light work.
So heavy in that lock.
Yeah.
Yes. Flying. Good. And again. Good. Again.
That's 4. Yes, let's go. I can have 10, 12 lifestyle. Most of them have been with me a while.
All up this way?
No.
Like the majority of your base? No.
Last year I had a lot.
Yeah.
But because I've left, because I don't train in the gym, bro, I don't pick anyone up in gyms anymore. I'd say probably 40% of my clients are international. I have quite a lot of international clients. I used to have so many in Hull, but I feel like anyone new that's joined will go with other coaches there now.
Yeah.
Which I don't really care, to be honest. It is good to have this because people come up to it as like a little bit of a hub.
Yeah.
It's just annoying, obviously. I'm so far away from most people that it is a bit of a mission.
Yeah.
Well, what's your split?
I'd say like 65% competitors. Yeah.
Has it been booming since the cards?
You know what? Not really. A little bit, like a couple more high quality ones, but
yeah,
like I'm in a good spot right now. Like I feel like I don't need to chase numbers at all. I feel like it's going to come when it's going to come now. Like I think I've shown I can do enough with like different categories now that like when the rest comes, the rest comes.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, when I drop numbers, I mean, you know what it's like, bro. We don't just lose 1 in a day, we'll lose 7 in a week, and then you're like, fucking hell, the end. But then you just have to remind yourself, you'll just climb back up
100%,
within a couple of weeks.
It's always better
Everyone
as
has
well.
dry spots, and it's
always
better
better.
ones.
Yeah, always is.
For me, I think it's always because I've been surrounded by Christian for so long. I know how many he works with, and I'm always like, well,
if we can get to that low, I can. Yeah.
But I don't want to. I don't want to work with that many.
I think a lot of it comes down to what you can like mentally handle workload wise as well. Like I know for me, I've got a few, like I said to you earlier about Adriana, like that really tax my brain. Like where I'll have to prioritise them ones to make sure like I deliver what I need to deliver. And I know some people can't work that way. Like I think Christian said it once on the podcast. He was like, I'm good at getting people from there to there, but you understand why you get people from there to there. Yeah. Like I'm kind of that guy as well, and I feel that takes a lot of mental power to kind of really think about it and be secure in my decisions. Yeah. So that for me, like why I can't handle too many like ones like that. Maybe I'll get better with time, but
yeah, it's just maturity, innit?
Yeah.
Experience of doing it.
Sure.
Of knowing it, but I think the numbers we work out allow us to give a good enough service.
For sure. Yeah.
Allows you to make that many notes.
Yeah.
Because if you had another 40, there's no way you could.
Yeah, 100%.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Smooth. Just keep it going. Wicked.
Lovely. Good power. Good, explosive, let's go again. Yes, strong, go. Yep, and again. Bro, 99% of girls work the bollocks off.
Good as gold.
And are good as gold.
Yeah.
And you drop the food, and they're on fuck all food.
Yeah.
And they just say, okay, let's get on with it.
Let's crack on,
I mean, they're gutted for us. They'll probably put an emoji saying, not my oats, with an emoji. But then they just crack on.
Yeah.
Where the lad's moaning like, fuck, you know, he's telling everyone he's moaning.
Yeah, he's put my food to this, he's done that.
Yeah. All good?
This year where I was like, I'll go back, but I won't go back there. Yeah, I'll definitely go for Olympia though. I don't really go back for that, I would go for that. The environment in the gym, like everyone was there.
I bet.
Keon was there, like Sean Clarida, John
Your
Jewett.
Dragons there?
No, it wasn't Dragons, it was a new one. I don't know what it is, but it's sponsored by their NPC.
The new tech gym?
That's it, New Tech, yeah. But yeah, it was wicked.
Our favourite was the LA Fit Club, wasn't it? With the neon pink lights.
I didn't see that one.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
Dragon's Lair I wasn't the biggest fan of.
I didn't go there for that reason. I heard it was a bit too like, kind of like Banus in Dubai.
Yeah.
Like a bit kind of like that vibe.
Yeah. What I found with Vegas was that we was there a week, 3-4 days, adored it, and then it came like so unrealistic that it was like, I kind of want normality back, do you know, because it's just so, it's mind-blowing
exactly
when you're
what
doing
it was like a video game. It was like being in the game. Wow.
Yeah. When you're driving around, like as a building goes past or skyscraper goes past, and then you've got so many things within your peripheral, and like it looks like 4D always because of shit.
Yeah, it's nothing like it.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's go. More. Good. Yeah, again, this one. Lock. Nice. Good.
Beautiful, and again. Plenty in the tank, let's go. Get out. That's you, let's go.
Yep. There we go.
You work with a lot of natty guys, right?
50-50,
Yeah.
but this year I've had loads of natty guys, and a lot of assisted guys have dropped out of prep.
Yeah.
So I'd say 50-50 as a whole, but I do find I fall into that niche of getting loads of natty lads because I've done so well with so many of them that you just attract what you do well with, right?
Yeah. I was going to ask you, what do you think is the biggest difference between like coaching natties to assisted mindset-wise? Because obviously the process physiologically is different.
Yeah.
But mindset-wise, would you say natties are easier to push? Like, what would you say the difference is?
Way easier.
Yeah.
They work harder. Assisted guys, again, they're not all, but can be lazier.
Yep.
They've got backup tools.
Yes.
Natties will do anything to get in condition. And I think the conditioning set point of naturals is so high that every single one entering a prep knows they have to achieve elite level conditioning to get anywhere. So they've got no backup tools. They care about the 0.001% in the off season and in the prep because they refuse to miss.
Yeah.
Where if you've got an assisted bloke who's quite genetically gifted, they can get away with a lot more. They can be saved in a peak by direct, by orals, by, you know. So yeah, assisted guys on the whole, I think, work a lot less hard than naturals. Naturals won't miss. They can't miss.
Yeah.
How can they miss? You know, once they've built that tissue in the off season, all they can do is get in condition.
Sure.
Do you know what I mean?
It's the only trump card they've got. Yeah.
And I always say, like, you know, a big assisted guy, if he loses 5 pounds of tissue in a prep, that's quite like noticeable if you're up against 245 versus 235. If you're 165 pounds versus 167 pounds, it doesn't matter too much. But 100%. If you're fucking skinned, it does matter.
Yeah, and you look bigger.
You look bigger.
Yeah. And you can feel harder a little bit if you lean on
100%.
But
cool. I think that's the same with like male and female as well. You know, girls refuse to miss.
100%.
You know, if they're legit, if they're a good athlete, they won't miss.
For sure.
And they can't miss. You know, one little slip up with their energy balance and their caloric intake, and it fucking matters catastrophically. Guys can get away with more. In the off season as well, off-plan meals. You know, you can't step out of line really when you're eating not as much food.
Guys will be a pound up after an off-plan meal. Girls will be 4 or 5 pounds up.
Yeah. And it's the same meal.
Yeah, exactly that, yeah.
Guys eating half of their intake in an off-plan, the girls eating 1.5 times their intake. You know, and that's what I find frustrating. I always try and preach that and explain that, like, I get it and I get you want this meal, but
is it worth it?
Is it worth it? Because this is your whole daily allowance in one meal.
Yeah.
And you're going to bottleneck your off-season pretty fucking quickly.
Yeah. Good. Yeah, two more. Again. Let's go all the way through this one. Drive. Yes, lovely.
Let's go then. Let's get it. Good, let's go. That's you, let's go one. Keep it locked out. Yep. We've both done one show,
This is
right?
it, yeah.
And I did my show when I was 19. I think an element of it is true. Because without going there yourself, you can't truly understand how it feels. And I think the merit behind it is how to resonate with the client that's going through it.
Yep.
What annoys me is it's always 90% of the time coaches that aren't busy preaching it. Now, I'd like them coaches to have 11 on stage this weekend and see if they can do all 5 sessions perfectly.
Yeah.
Because they can't. And if they did, their peaks won't be to the service that I'm providing, right? I've got all 11 people checking in daily, every single meal, every single day. How the fuck can I train the exact same as I did? And that's not me saying I've got bad time management. I'm up at 5:30 starting to beat people. I'm working till 9. I have an hour with her at night, and then we go to bed. And it's the same shit every single day. So I agree to the point where to be able to resonate with someone who's fucking digging and such low body fat percentage and how they feel, loss of personality, mood, sex drive, all that, you've got to have been there yourself. So maybe diet, maybe don't step on stage or whatever. But I think even the inner workings of a show and backstage, how it feels, you pick up a lot from that as well. And I do see coaches that haven't been on stage that then they don't know what to do with the athletes backstage, they don't know how to tell them to pump up, they don't know when they're going to get glazed or whatnot, so that matters. But if you deliver results, you deliver results, right? And I think like if you want to be a top level elite coach, you can't be a top level elite bodybuilder in my opinion. You can be fucking good, you can go again, and when we've got periods of time of the year when we can full send, we'll full send. But I don't think you can be the best of both.
No, good stuff.
Agree?
Yeah, 100%. I just think you can also tell when like someone knows what they're doing by the way they look. Like if you don't look like you train or you've even gone through a bigger off season, or as you said, like a photo shoot prep or something to physically test yourself if you're preaching stuff without having done any of it. Like I can understand maybe not going as far as stepping on stage, but like pushing yourself to the point where like, I hate the word, but you're quote unquote suffering to some degree, whether that's the peak end of the off season or like a bottom end of the diet, then that level of relatability, as you say, is really valuable.
Bro, and also what pisses me off is the other end of the spectrum. Coaches shouldn't be out of shape. Coaches shouldn't eat like shit. Coaches still eat the meals, still do the steps. Like you have to do both as well.
For sure.
But there's going to be some level of drawback when you're at peak times of the year with people.
For sure.
And I think there is a level that you have to suffer, and, as you said. But a lot of time people are just marketing themselves to pull someone in to come with me because I
do this or do that.
I do this and walk the walk.
One or some of your biggest inspirations in coaching wise, like looking up to, or
I think
any names that come to mind?
Back in the day, I say back in the day, there's still what Callum still is now.
Yeah.
You know, but I think like we all grew up on Callum taking off with the muscle mentors and then into pro coach. I think we all looked up to Cal when he had your Bridgmans and whatnot, when he was still starting. I remember Cal's prep. I remember watching that on the JP site. I remember Cal hasn't prepped since. But he killed himself and he fucking came in absolutely peeled, but he's never prepped since. Joe Jeffrey back in the day a lot. From an education standpoint, I was obsessed with Joe. Obviously, surrounding myself with Christian all the time as I think Christian, the biggest take point from Christian was like, just from a service perspective, very early on, of do everything, deliver everything, and you'll climb your way. I always think for an up-and-coming coach, even if you miss a peak, even if you don't land someone on show day, if you provided the best service, they're probably not going to leave.
That you can at that moment in time,
And if you take accountability and you cared, then that says way more to me than if you were just to deliver the look and give a shit service as well. Do you know what I mean? Like that is the primary cause. Everyone can learn and get better from an education standpoint or experience. Like I'm sure with you now, if someone can ask you like, why did you peak someone like that, or why did you make that change? 99% of the time, it's a educated guess, right? Because you've done it so many times that you know the result. I always say that like a good coach has that just that gut instinct that I'm going to pour food here or I'm going to back off here. I don't know if it's going to work, but I have a feeling that's the right move.
100%.
And I back it. And I think it's confidence in your decision to back that.
And also then knowing what to do on either side of the spectrum if it does or doesn't work.
You've got them backup protocols in play. Them three are pretty big for me. What about you?
Very similar. Like I respect smart brains as it sounds, like bodybuilding brains, and like I think reading into that stuff sometimes I remember the amount of like education and learning I did before. At the time, none of it made sense. But sometimes I'll be doing stuff now and I'm like, shit, that thing I read 2 years ago, it clicks, it makes sense. And the more you go through and experience it and then correlate that to what you're seeing and learning, that's always been a game changer.
I think that's the biggest thing now. Don't stop learning as well. Like, I won't. At this time of the year, like, I can't as much, but throughout other periods of time, that's all I'll do in my spare time.
Yeah, and I don't know about you, I always say this to any young coaches is like, educate yourself before, because as you get busier, that time's going to slowly slip. That's one thing I'm so grateful for, is that I paid that time to learn first of all. So as I've got busier, I'm not now struggling to find things out that I don't know. Like obviously I'm still learning as I go, but I did the majority of that to start with, which has always been helpful.
20, 30 clients, all that spare time use to fucking learn. But like, it's funny you mentioned Dr. Scott Stevenson. Goat.
Yeah.
Love him. He was where I
think
first
I've read
learned
that, Be Your Own Bodybuilding Coach, like
learned how
8
to
times.
peak.
Yeah, really, yeah.
Of that book. I mean, how much of it still rings true today? How he was ahead of his time with fat loading, with vitamin C, with sodium fluid cut 3 hours apart, or, you know, sleeping elevated, everything. Dr. Scott Stevenson nailed it all.
What is he saying? Fill to spill, was it?
Yeah, you got a spill to fill.
Yeah.
Where sodium goes, water flows. That's the Dr. Scott as well.
I think one thing I pay close attention to as well as I've got more experience is like looking where everyone stands out. Like I know a lot, like I see at the minute, like the consistency in, let's say, like Martin peaking everyone. Martin never misses a peak ever. Like that's where he shines through, and there'll be some people that are very good at off seasons. Like I quite like the way Sass does off seasons. Like you see his guys blow up in off seasons. So everyone has their kind of like areas of specialties, and I kind of like studying what everyone does for their own little segments.
I agree. I'll do 71 for a first working set. Obviously, like Adriana, Paige, they've had knockbacks, losses. Then they went and got the card. How do you deal with it as a coach? How do you keep the motivation to keep going, to pick yourself back up? Because like, I know when I've had knockbacks, it hurts in that moment. 100%. Because we care so much, right? We invest so much.
For sure.
How do you keep yourself going? How do you pick back up and go, right, we're going this show, we're going next year?
Really good question. I think I always look at it from a really holistic standpoint and say, like, as cheesy as it sounds, when the time's right, it will come. I always feel like if you don't turn pro, you can go down the route of saying, like, there was someone else better than the day, or it wasn't, or something was this with the judging, but I always feel like the best and most constructive way to look at it is like, some piece of the puzzle wasn't there. Whether that was the mindset of being a pro, whether that was the posing, whether that was an element of even the peak from the coach's standpoint, like something wasn't in place to make that happen. And I always think approaching it in that way allows you as the coach and the athlete to be as constructive as possible in finding that piece of the puzzle, putting it there, going again, so when the time's right, you land it perfectly and get it.
If something wasn't there, you can always be better, can't you?
Yeah, I think if you put it in the hands of someone else and say, it was the judges, it was the show, like, you never leave yourself in a position to improve. Like even if it was that, saying and putting that responsibility on someone else never puts you in a position to improve. So always taking responsibility, even if it was the wrong decision,
you can
finding your way
right?
there is always the way to be better.
Yeah, agreed. I think it's the hard thing of bodybuilding, because a lot of the time it's patience to go again.
For sure.
It might be a year, it might be 2 years, but.
And I can say this from personal experience. I even said this on camera the other day. All the losses that you get up until that point, when you get it, the feeling's unreal. Like it almost stacks towards it, and it's like, I'm so glad we had those losses, because how you feel when you get that win, there's nothing like it. Like you cannot prepare for what that feeling's like.
I've had athletes that have missed out on cards or whatnot, and hurts, but the step up there now as an athlete is a different grade. If they got the card, would they be that level of athlete that they are now? That when they get it, they're ready to be a pro as well in every single way.
100%.
So yeah, you can just always take something, learn from it, pick yourself up. Hurts in the moment, pick yourself up, and then go again and be better.
And as everyone says, use it as fuel. Like put every ounce of however you feel after that into those training sessions. The days that you feel hungry, like put it towards that and say, I'm never having that feeling again, and use it as fuel. And yeah, when you get that moment, it'll be worth it. Smooth. Let's go. Nice. I'm really grateful she stayed with me, Because especially with an athlete like her, she does everything. Like she does everything to T. Like cannot fault her in any regard. And I'm kind of like, I'm just grateful that like you've trusted me and you haven't been like, oh, let's go to Rob. Rob's got X amount of pro cards in bikini. Especially when, like, if you're a half-assed athlete, you can kind of go with any coach. But you know when you're on it, you're like, I want the coach's experience there as well because I'm on stuff. And that's one thing I'm just grateful for is that she's trusted me with that.
Yeah, that's really good.
You can't ask me
Which is
another.
good as well.
Yeah.
Let's go then, bro. Lovely. Good. Yeah, you should. Good. Yep. Nice. Let's go one. Let's go one then. Yep.
Let's go. Nice. Do you feel any pressure if you was to compete again in terms of like your guys, your clients? Yeah?
That's why I didn't do men's physique. Also, I didn't want to do men's physique. I hated it, but I've got so many lower body injuries that I've had for years. That's why I've got that line hack. I've not hacked squat or anything in years,
yeah.
mate.
Yeah, it's wicked.
And so I was doing men's physique just to do it as well. And I'm too dense to get in the pose. I look stupid, but if I'm going to compete, I want stripy glutes. Well, if I get stripy glutes, I lose all that. So why the fuck am I competing to do men's physique? And if I don't, and I just come in ready for men's physique, I feel like people say soft or if we compete, I feel like we've got to
Full send it.
kill ourselves to get in condition and prove it.
100%.
So when I do and the time's right, but I don't mind suffering.
I feel like it will work in a bit of a positive way as well. Like when you've got that pressure from outside means other than the reason that you want to do it, like it's only going to add more fuel in it. It's like, I can't
you can't fail.
Yeah.
You can't fuck this up. Good, again. There we go. Let's go. Yep. Good. Easy again. Yes. Good man.
It depends on the people like that when they're standing next to each other. Like I've done this with clients so many times before. Like I've analysed the hell out of other people. I've either thought we're gonna do well against them, or the opposite, and it's always been the opposite to what it is. So like, I don't look anymore. The only time I can judge is when they're up on stage.
But I say to clients when they're backstage and they see someone and they think, fucking hell, and I say, wait until he's stood next to you or she's next to you because they look completely
100%,
different.
Yeah. Go. Finish. Nice.
Oh.
It's a question for you then, bro. What would you say the foundations are of like prepping and being in a relationship at the same time? Like how do you manage it?
Come on.
You got to get in on this one.
You could jump in on this one.
From both of your perspectives, if someone's going to prep their partner, what would you say are some foundations to have in place before that happens to make sure everything runs smooth?
Respect. On both levels, I'd say. Respect as a coach, respect as a partner as well. I think we'd always say that I dip in and out of coach mode and boyfriend mode, and you dip in and out of athlete and girlfriend mode to the point where, sometimes it would be like you check in and I'd come downstairs because I'd be there for a hug rather than a stern word as a coach. Where it's like, she'd be like, oh, my coach is a dickhead today. And I'd be like, oh, he's a twat. He's a nut. Has he dropped your food
done that again?
But I think it is respect. I think it's communication more than anything.
If you're the person on prep, it's your choice, as we said.
Yeah.
Don't back onto you. You're not slashing my food
It's not personal,
to
is it?
upset me and to like, you've got to separate the two.
I think as a coach, I think the hardest thing well, not the hardest thing, but like you have to separate of like that internal feeling of, I know that this food slash or this cardio bump is gonna be tough for her, but I've got to do it because I'm thinking about that end result and what she wants as the end goal rather than feeling guilty about that. I think that's the same with even coaching clients that you're really close with.
Yep.
That you have
Detaching
that
the two.
personal attachment to, that
sure.
you have to detach because like you could not push them as hard or you can push them too hard.
Yeah, especially if you've got that closer relationship. There's often times where like you'll be more open than's needed in how much you're struggling, which can then make your decisions as a coach harder because you know how much that person's struggling, which they may not have told you on the other side.
Try not to skew decisions as well. If you have a head wobble or
Like,
I'm
I
flat
say, like sometimes I'd come to you and I'd complain and you'd be like, oh, like, blah, 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 but I'm not coming to you as a client, to a coach, I'm coming to you as my boyfriend.
Just a vent kind of thing, yeah.
I'm just venting to my boyfriend right now, you don't need to listen as a coach. Which,
I'm quite black or white.
Yeah, and
so it did work well for us because I'd be like, suck it up.
Yeah,
Regardless of how you're feeling, the decision's not changing, suck it up. But you were a dream. She's incredible as an athlete. You are a dream.
Would you say as well that there's a higher standard for each other as well, in that how much you want to make him proud as an athlete and how much you want to make her proud as a coach? Would you say that standard pushes you both more in those instances as well?
Yeah.
Yeah?
I've always said like, as much as I'm doing it for myself, I'm also doing it for
Yeah.
but it shouldn't fall in the face of everything. I put a lot of pressure on myself.
She puts a lot of pressure on herself anyway. Oh, I put so much pressure on myself prepping her because I can't miss.
Yeah.
You know, and I can't miss anyway. And you know what I mean. People get it, but like, you know, when it's your partner, even more so. Like, I couldn't forgive myself.
But maybe like if you're considering coaching your partner or being coached by your partner, take that into consideration. If the stress of it is worth it and how strong is your relationship for a prep, because you've got to have like a foundation of a good relationship anyway before you even think about trusting them with a prep, because that's a lot for you to take on as a partner. You deal with everything. You deal with everything a boyfriend wants you to deal with, and you deal with everything a coach wants you to deal with. And I don't even pay them, so it's like,
Imagine
Brilliant.
doing all this for free.
Yeah. Smooth.
Good. Good. Yep. Good. Go again. Quality. Yep. So, I loved lockdown.
It was good,
I loved lockdown. The amount of shit I did with the barbell and just on your own, tunes on, like you feel like a proper bodybuilder.
This is what it reminds me of.
Yeah.
I'd say that's probably the most progress I've ever made.
Yeah. I loved it. Especially in the winter, hat on, couple of layers, tunes
100%.
blasting on your own.
Sick. Move. Let's go. Pull. Again, all the way.
Pull in the machine. I don't even use L-carnitine now.
Yeah.
I ain't
Can't be able to pin it. Yeah.
fuck that, bro.
Yeah.
I think as well, like, the more you pin, the more scar tissue it builds up.
Yeah.
I'm not pinning a pump when a pump works
For the sake of L-carnitine as well, yeah.
You know?
Yeah, I think maybe in prep, like if you're trying to exhaust all your tools,
Yeah.
and you need to use it, but like off season, you don't need additional pinning. Yeah, I agree.
When I'm running a gram plus a gear, bro, I don't need L-carnitine, in my opinion. Or you're going to have to use it at a crazy high dosage, and I can't be asked to pin that fucking much as well.
Do you use it with natties?
No.
You don't at all?
Do you?
I have done, yeah, but only select people. Like I've got the people I know will be a little bit funny about it, and others that are just like, Cool.
Look, the tool's there, right? But half of me's like, if you're pinning, is that one step too far as a natty?
Yeah, kind of like you've broken.
It's a
the
grey
seal.
area,
You've broken
right?
the
It's a
seal.
grey
Yeah,
area.
Yeah.
But it's allowed.
For sure. Same as your hinbind, really. It's a bit hit and miss.
Same as your hinbind. The only reason I don't use your hinbind is just in case it's tampered with or it's not a
Like
legit
that guy.
hinbind.
What did you think of that men's physique guy?
He's natty.
Huh?
He's natty.
Yeah, I was going to say,
100%.
I didn't get the
Wankers
vibe.
picking on him and commenting on his posts.
I didn't get the vibe from him that he was.
Not at all.
Especially because AJ was coaching him, right?
Yeah. You wouldn't go through that much effort if you were fake natty.
For sure. And what it was as well, it's kind of like you'd be taking more than Osterine if that was.
And he only used it in peak week because
Makes
he
sense.
passed the WMBF test and then PCA failed him, which means he introduced Osterine 6 days out. Well, obviously
fat
he
loss
did.
in peak
Obviously
week,
he didn't, did he?
Yeah.
You know?
Because he said he was appealing it, right? I don't know what's come of it, but
Yeah. Well, he's gone and done a polygraph at WMBF, passed all that again at the last show.
either way, your name's slandered anyway. Your name's dragged through the mud.
AJ's still coaching him. Stuck by him. Yeah, you could tell he was legit, bro.
Yeah.
Because the others have never appealed or said anything. They've just gone private on Instagram.
Yeah.
This guy was like, no.
I'm clearing my name kind of thing. Yeah. But yeah, I do think it's a bit shit how the people jump on it.
Yeah. Yes. Making it look light. Come on. Yep. And again, let's go. Power. Yep. Yep. Yeah. It tastes the same exactly.
Nice, go on.
But like touching on that, you've got to make sacrifices. You know,
If you want to get to the
top. How much balance have we had outside of work play?
Yeah.
I know you get it preached and you need time off and you get burnt out, but if you want to get top, prepared to work.
And the funny thing is, I find like I feel more stressed when I'm not under pressure and I'm not doing things I shouldn't do. Kind of like it's a catch-22 in it because you feel burnt out and you feel run down, but you also know that's where you progress the most. It's kind of like I always relate things to prep in the sense of when you're hungry, you know you get leaner. You know it's working. So it's kind of correlating how you feel to what the outcome is and just leaning into it, I suppose, isn't it?
Agreed. I would just say any young up-and-coming coach, do absolutely everything you
Yeah.
can.
I don't know if you find this as well, bro, like, whether it's a mental thing or not, I find when I get close to these things, the quicker it comes.
Oh.
Like when I'm around like the bigger coaches or the bigger athletes, like when I'm around them, it's like, it's closer and it becomes real to some degree.
Hey, that's what I mean about being there for you, mate. It's
Yeah,
just
it's
absolutely
cool.
immense to see because
Wicked.
you're rubbing shoulders with who you want.
Yeah, that's it. And
who
even
you
just
wanna
like, just breaking down that barrier from what you see online to seeing it in the flesh, so, yes, so different. What would you say was like your defining moment where you was like, I want to do this like full proper, as in being a prep coach? Was there like one singular moment where you was like, I want to do this shit for like a living, for like to make something out of it?
It's all I've done since I was a teenager. Obviously not with prep.
For sure. But bodybuilding wise,
I prepped myself at 19, so maybe that.
yeah.
Maybe that.
Yeah, what just fired you up? You was like, this whole experience is that's sick. I want to do it.
Stubborn. I was so stubborn as a 19-year-old that I won't get a coach.
Yeah.
Because for me, it was an opportunity to be my first client on stage would be myself. Now, I didn't do very well.
Yeah.
I was backstage. I thought I'd won. Came fourth. I just had no muscle, and I'd killed myself in the prep. But I'm glad I did kill myself in the prep because I know how that feels.
Yeah, for sure.
And I knew not to do that with other people. I don't know what found me up, bro. I think it's
just to jump back there.
It's addictive, bro, isn't it?
Yeah.
You get that first win.
Yeah.
That maybe you know, you predominantly lifestyle. You get that first win. You feel that process. You feel how much it gets you out of bed in the morning. Like, you go to bed thinking about your athlete and wake up thinking about them, and I think it's fucking addictive.
Yeah.
You know, and yeah, you just want to keep going and keep going.
For sure.
It's weird how it just comes about and comes to fruition. Like one result or one person just.
I suppose, like you say, it's chasing that feeling, isn't it?
Chasing that feeling. It's addictive to it.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, and I think then the more, as you say, the more pressure you put on your own standard to do it, then when you achieve it, it's like, the feeling's really rewarding when you get to it. It just makes you want to go again.
There's on yourself internal and external pressure? Do you
sure.
feel like there's a lot of external pressure on you now
for
compared
sure.
to a couple of years ago?
Yeah,
and
sure.
how much internal pressure do you put on yourself?
Yeah, it's a combination of the two. Yeah, definitely.
And do you think that's what breeds such consistent results?
100%. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. That refusal to miss.
Yeah, like I know for me personally, like last year I probably would have just put someone on stage because we'd agreed to that timeline, and I felt bad to say it. Whereas this time I haven't had a problem this year being like, let's push shows back, let's extend it for them and for me.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that's just come with confidence and, yeah, as you say, having that standard to meet, just to
setting the standard for yourself.
Yeah, for sure.
Like pull up your nose. How many people's doing that?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, but I don't know, in a weird way, I don't know if you find it like it's like a retarded way of thinking. Like when I read back, I'm like, it makes no sense. But to me, it makes sense when I break it down, and like it's cool to look back on because you're just like.
But if that physique goes one or two ways, you know exactly what brought
drove
it there
or
what can take it away from
for sure.
That.
Yeah.
I've got 11 on stage this week, and every single person's got detailed notes.
Yeah.
That's why I don't miss. That's why everyone will look good. Because how can they not? Manage someone continually across a peak, well, they're not going to spill, they're not going to be too flat because you're looking at them so much.
Yeah.
Have the notes, you know what to do. Fucking hell.
Easy. Let's go. Nice. So what would you say are the biggest traits that you see in winning athletes consistently across the board?
I think the first one does come down to the want to do anything. The want to do what it takes to achieve the goal, get there and get in that condition. I think a big one is their communication skills. Because despite having that want to do whatever, and they'll do whatever, that communication, that feedback is so important. And I think you can't really get there without that elite level feedback communication, especially in those final weeks of a prep when you're wanting to pull and push. I think that a lot of the elite guys and girls have such good communication skills, and it's honest, and it's honest feedback.
And in regards to like communication as in how they're feeling or what it is they're relaying to in terms of how they feel in their body and their physique, or a combination of the two?
A pair of them, so how they're feeling on a day-to-day, how they're feeling, right? Actually how their body's feeling rather than what their mind's potentially saying at a point. And then also how they deliver that as well. Clear and clarity within that delivery of the feedback. You know, not so it's caught too late. And I think that comes along as well with the relationship that you build up with them. Is there any traits that you think that? Similar
to yourself, I think a big one is communication, but I find this especially with first timers as well, is actually giving them the tools to feedback what they need. Like, how do you feel when you're posing? Can you feel yourself sitting on your lats? Like little things that they may not necessarily pick up on, like giving them the kind of prompts to feed that information back to you is a big one. But in terms of traits, I think, as we said, the want to do it, but also understanding that the process that we're engulfed in isn't as straightforward, you work hard, you win. It's one where you've got to be in it for the right reasons, but also understand that it is about the consistency element of doing the shows. And keep continuing to keep going regardless of the win, regardless of the loss, and do it for the process. And one thing is for sure is that if you continue to do that and improve, your win will come. Like whenever that is, you may not get the win off of one prep or one segment of work ethic. It will come off the back of the process and time of doing the job.
Two things on top of that. It's a bit passion and
Yep.
patience. The best have the passion for it.
Yep.
They're doing it because they love it.
100%.
Okay? Doesn't matter if they're dying on prep.
Yep.
They still enjoy those days. They probably enjoy them more. They've got
Yep.
the passion for bodybuilding. They're doing it for the right reason. And then patience. Understanding that there's a timeline.
Yep.
It's not going to be, as you said, work hard, win. It might be in 2-3 years.
Yep.
Delayed gratification is the biggest thing in bodybuilding, right? And having patience.
Yep.
I think patience and passion are absolutely massive in doing well in this sport.
Yeah, and I think closely linked to that is also not getting too caught up on one result and blaming either yourself or the coach for that, and sometimes saying that, right, you may not get the result with that coach that first season, but 2 or 3 seasons later down the line, once they've known your body and you've both learned from that prep, what that then comes is going to be the result you want. Because how often do we see people change coaches or get unhappy with one season that they go and make the same mistake again next year, rather than just waiting that process out and, as you say, being patient with the process. With such consistency in the look of your guys and girls, what would you say is the one mindset trait that you help your clients with to get in that elite pilled condition?
I think the main one is, from the get-go, setting the standard and setting that expectation. And so with any client that comes that's going to prep, or in the off-season when we're discussing things, like, we do have a level of expectation that we're going to put on stage. When it comes to a conditioning standpoint, because primarily it's the thing that you can control the most, right? And it's setting the standard, and they come to me knowing that they are going to be, they've got to almost live up to everyone else, right? They're coming for that reason. I think people do join me for a reason of coming to get in condition, coming to get skinned. So I think setting the standard, setting expectations between the pair of you, the client and the coach. Obviously the want and the ability to work as well. Accepting that it's not going to be easy, accepting the challenges that you don't get there by chance, by having an easy prep, right? And I think that's lost over time a little bit in bodybuilding. I speak about it a lot. We optimize everything. We want the best prep starting point. We want the slowest rate of loss. We want the most food, the least expenditure, the least drugs. We want that.
Yeah.
There's going to be a point where it's hard. And there's an art of digging sometimes, whether that's towards the end, middle, whenever. There's an art of
It's gotta
digging.
be done.
And you're going to have periods of time where you don't feel great. And I hate that saying, like, the worse you feel, the better you look, because it's not true. A lot of the time you look like shit when you feel like shit. It's when you freshen up you look better. You got to have periods of time where you are dragging your feet and you're feeling, and it's the ability to do it and get through those periods of time.
And would you say, as you've evolved as a coach, that standard you've got now is just, you're getting people come in like, I've seen so-and-so's results, or I've seen what you did with so-and-so, and then that standard is almost, as you say, that bar's been set from the get-go. It's not as if you're getting a random inquiry, like people know what they're signing up for when they come to you.
That's why they've come, right? Because they've seen previous results, or they've not achieved that level of condition. I get that quite a lot off the back end of a post-show, like, I didn't quite get where I wanted to be, and I think you'll get me there, so let's go into an off-season and go from there. It's set exactly from the start. So, obviously you coach an array of athletes, array of criteria, but you've had a lot of success within wellness, figure and whatnot, and these often, particularly wellness, require such specific training. You've got to train to that criteria, and I see a lot of people that say, I'll just train however I like, and then I'll go where I suit. If you want to be good, you want to be elite, how important is it to train to that criteria?
Yeah, great question. And I think this is where, again, you need to separate what you want to do versus what's going to get the most progress. And I think this is where, especially for females, you've likely started the gym because you've either wanted to progress your physique, or you've wanted to make a change within how you look. And this is, again, where that separation needs to come in, that if you want to be elite and if you want to work towards winning the wellness show or winning the figure show, you need to have that separation between what you want to do and what you need to do to get progress. And sometimes for girls, a lot of the times this means training upper body once a week. Like the amount of girls that come to me that want to do wellness, and they then get upset when they have to go from training push, pull 2-3 times a week to then only doing it once, or one upper session. And again, this is where you need to separate how much you really want that goal from what you enjoy doing. And 9 times out of 10, what happens is as you then trust that route of doing what you need to get progress, you see more results and end up falling in love with that route anyway. So sometimes it's just coming away from that attachment that you've got to a certain way of training and seeing the long-term result in what it is you're working towards.
And with that, genetic, how much do you think you can out-train the genetics? Can you train to wellness? Can you train away from, if you're suited for figure, can you train away? Or do you think the best way is to go and follow suit alongside the genetics?
Yeah, great question. I think the counter answer to that is, how much time are you willing to pay? If you're willing to pay the time, I would argue that genetics become less and less of a factor if you're willing to give the time. But that time spectrum could be anywhere from 5 to 10 years. Like, you'll find out relatively soon if you're genetically suited to a category based on how well you fit. But when people come to me and they want to work towards a category, I say, how long are you willing to invest in that goal? Like the goal is an investment. You invest in time, and if you haven't got the best genetics, you're likely looking at a longer time frame. And that's actually okay, because you end up enjoying that journey more than somebody that's potentially better genetically suited, but then hasn't got the skin to be in the game for longer. So sometimes the answer is how much time are you willing to pay? But I think that the whole genetic argument in general only becomes relevant depending on how far you want to go.
Yeah.
I think that's ultimately where it stands, is if you want to be, let's say, an Olympian, that's where the genetics come in. If you want to win your first regional show, that's when the genetic argument becomes a little bit less important, because you can out-train to some degree your genetics if you're willing to work hard enough and pay the time. All right, guys, that's a wrap. Hopefully we've given you an insight there on some bits regarding coaching, whether you're an athlete or whether you are a coach. Been an absolute pleasure, bro. Hopefully see you again soon for another session.
Yeah,
and
definitely.
See you tomorrow at the show.
Yeah, sounds good.